All right, good morning, YouTube. Say good morning to Sierra. Sierra's having car troubles. Are there any handsome guys out there with big wallets want to help Sierra fix her car?
She's not saying no.
Handsome guys with big wallets. She's like, big wallets. So, and Christmas is coming. Sierra has a big list. So, yesterday we did a video about a customer who thought that he just needed a center pipe muffler and tailpipe on his Toyota, and he obviously knew that-ish by saving the tailpipe that rusted off of his muffler, and it's a truck, so it's pretty easy for him to get underneath of it. And it's over 10 years old, I believe. Yeah, something like that.
09.
It was 09. So he already, just like probably almost everybody in the world, if they're really interested in trying to save as much money as they can, they try to do their homework before they go to a place of business or shop online, or go to shop online and try and figure out, what's their best path, how expensive is it going to be, whatever the case may be. So then he shows up here, already pre-programmed that he knows that he can buy that exhaust part for $180 shipped to his door, and that is his words. He only said these words after we spent 30 minutes trying to find local parts to put his exhaust system back together for him. When he should have just said from the rip, hey, can you just check my exhaust? I looked at it, I looked online, I seen that I could buy this online for $180. I don't want to do it, I do want to do it. Would you guys be willing to put the part on if that's all it needs? No.
Before you look for parts, just give me a rough estimate on how much it'll be for parts.
Right. Like before you guys get deep into me wasting your time, right? I already looked online, and we don't go online and do that. We pick up the phone and say we're going to buy it locally because we shop locally and support local businesses.
Just give me something close.
So
I know roughly what I'm looking into to see if that's even an option or a route I want.
So depending on where his head is at and his pre-programming, right? It's no secret that online shopping is your cheapest option. There is nothing cheaper quality than shopping online. So my point was, he should have said this to Rachel from the rip, before I waste anyone's time. Would you be willing to install this part, or how much would you do this job for? And that's why Rachel was shopping around, and he didn't say that up front. He just said, my exhaust fell off, can you check my exhaust? He already had his plan in his head, and then after we looked at his near 15-year-old exhaust system, we're like, you got some other stuff that's brewing besides what fell off your car on your exhaust system.
Yeah, a lot more.
A lot more brewing with a lot more costs. So, and I think some people just don't realize what it costs to operate a business. And someone said something on here, Caleb, like, well, it's okay for the customer to call around to get his cheapest price. No, jerk off. He went online to get his cheapest price and then showed up to a retail establishment and asked, basically wasted our time already knowing that you're not going to get that in any retail business store. You're going to get...
He's not getting a full exhaust system here for $180.
You're not going to get a full exhaust... Well, your cat back for $180. And I bet you if he looked around, he could probably find it for $150.
Yeah.
Maybe. Or even higher, because, we look for some stuff.
Well, when I was looking for catbacks for one of my cars, one of my Civics, I found a full catback system I found a full system, header, all the way to tailpipe to the bumper for $200.
Right. You're not going to get that anywhere.
No, never.
Never.
It's going to cost more to install that than it is to
We wouldn't
buy
even...
it if you were to find a shop.
So, and our price to do that job, Sierra, was $550 parts and labor. That's to deal with taking off the rest of the crap there and whatever difficulties we encounter, and install a catback system for him. So if he's at $200, we're just going to round it up, $200. The average shop labor rate is $150 an hour, not including if they will honor installing customer parts. Most places won't. And if they do, they usually charge substantially more labor to do that.
Yeah,
so we're just going to say he's $400, right? On average, just we're gonna say that he's $400. If he could Jedi mind trick somebody or some shop, Pep Boys or Mavis or Pep Boys probably won't do it. Mavis definitely won't do it. Firestone won't do it. I'm gonna give you probably 5 shops around here that just won't do it.
You would need to see it like off floor motor or something.
He'd have to find an exhaust shop. And why would they want to install his exhaust parts when that's what we do? That's our specialty, right? So we were $550 to do the job, which is a fair price, in my opinion, to supply, right? Supply the parts, have a professional install it, and stand behind it and warranty it. And it's local, and if there's a problem, guess what he does? Hey guys, I'm just around the corner. I got a problem. Can you take a look at it? Knowing that he only did the minimum repairs, it probably would be something else. He found no value in me and us and our services. That's what wound up going on here. Zero value in what we offered. He already knew at $200 is just about what it would cost him to almost do it himself, besides breaking his back, cutting his fingers, laying upside down, getting dirt and shit in his eyes. And then to come to find out that he bought a blend product that doesn't fit, which goes on 99% of the time when you buy online shit.
And it's gonna be rattling, or he's
So,
not gonna get it.
He could get lucky, right? He could get
Yeah.
lucky, but that's not the facts here. The
Not-
facts are
not
we
if
do
he's
it every
buying the
day.
cheap- Not if he's buying the cheapest stuff. If he's buying the cheapest stuff, it's gonna look horrible. because
Yeah,
of all-
and it could be good too. We don't really know, but we didn't go online instantly and say, "Oh, well, Mr. Customer, we can get you this system for $250," knowing that he could get it for $280. We didn't. So my example was, even if I marked it up $10 and charged him labor, I still wouldn't do the job. I still wouldn't do the job. I have to have enough profit to pay Sierra, Caleb, the electric company, the gas company, insurance, taxes, licensing fees, registration, Rachel,
Yourself.
the phone bill, myself, repairs and maintenance to the buildings, Meineke,
I'm very expensive.
my child support, all that factors into running a business. If you don't know what it costs to run a brick and mortar business, stop banging on the keyboards. You don't know shit. You should educate yourself and say, God damn, this guy's right. He has to make a profit to do this job, or he can't do the job. And then get hit with a credit card, right? Because most people pay with credit cards. It costs money to use a credit card. Cost me money to take your credit card. 3% or whatever the case may be. So lots of expenses go into that. And another YouTube subscriber said the same shit. He's like, he had a customer come in and ask him to install some parts. And he said, well, I'll do that if you can go to the diner and ask them to cook your steak. And if they will do that, then I will install your parts. That's what he said. And I said, kudos to you, because that's reality. I can't go to the local diner and bring my eggs or bring my tea or bring my toast and ask them just for labor to put it on. They tell you to go pound sand. So some shops out here will do that. I, for one, will not do that. We buy maybe 2% of our parts online out of all the business that we do.
And that's only the high volume stuff that we have. So
And that's only because we're forced to, because we can't get it. And that doesn't, it's not exhaust parts. We don't do that. Not at all. And it's 2% of my business, which is a lot of business that we do here. And do I like doing that? No, because that's a bag of cats. I don't know what I'm going to get, even if it's the right part in the box at that, and you've seen it, it's happened. Like I ordered this and I got a tier in the mail when I ordered valve stems or something. I'm like, what the? And that's what you get, right? There's some guy in China just bagging shit up. It's in a mountain of parts, and he's like, oh well, there goes the valve stems to the beauty supply store, and then Meineke's going to get the tier. And that actually happened. I got a little crown in the mail. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Right?
should have super glued it to your head.
I kept it. It was cute. I gave it to my daughter. But
Little crown ornament. Or
yeah.
ornament.
So instead of saying, well, the customer can do whatever he wants, but your expectations when you go into a retail business, it can't be that. I mean, how much more fair, in my opinion, could we have been at $550? $750 probably would have been a little bit in the realm of doing that job if you call around and if anyone could get those parts. I'll tell you that right now. You can't call any parts store around here and get that exhaust system for $180, or they would have told me that. They just said, no, we can't get it. No, we can't get it. No, we can't get it. No, we can't get any of it. So I was like, all right, well, I'll make it. So he may be doing it himself. But what burns my ass is, oh, well, it's okay for the customer to call around. And he wasn't calling around. He went on the internet, which is not reality. That's fantasy land when you're comparing do-it-yourself to a brick and mortar. So, and I said to the one guy, I said, I guess you work for somebody because you don't know what it costs to run a business. And that's the truth. Like, you wouldn't say that if you were a business owner because you know that there's so many expenses that go into running a business. So, and that's okay. You know, I worked for somebody and I didn't know, but I learned. You know, I learned why those things don't go on. And, you know, if you follow some of our other top tier guys out here like myself, they don't install customer parts. Ford Moco Loco Master Tech, OEM only. How about that? Don't ask me to install anything but OEM only.
The only time Ford will ever install anything that's aftermarket is if there's a serious back order on OEM parts and it has to be done.
And it's up to their discretion.
And it's up to customer discretion.
I assure you, they're not going to open up the cheapest eBay part
no.
and go inside your engine and put that on.
I'm talking they'll go to like a aftermarket parts dealer like
AutoZone or Van. Correct.
Something
Yeah.
like that. They're not going.
So you have online, which is mostly garbage unless you're buying it from the dealer, and then you have your local parts stores and shit like that.
Dealers.
Let me tell you, and some of these parts stores sell absolute garbage in the box. The box looks like it's all their branded product and stuff, but it's third, fourth quality crap in there, and you're lucky if it even works. And then the bottom of the barrel is eBay from China, and if you're lucky, it works a day, or it doesn't work at all, or it doesn't fit.
Well, exactly. I just
Can
got.
you get the wrap opinion? Can you get it done today?
How many hours labor does it call for?
3.8.
It's going to be very, very unlikely by the age of that vehicle.
You want me to go get them?
You're talking about a rusty 15-year-old vehicle. You can't promise a 4-hour job with 4 hours to go and no rack and pinion here.
3.5.
Right.
Not even.
No. What would your service writers do at Ford? Overpromise vehicles all the time.
Yep.
You know what we
Sure,
don't
we
do
can get
here?
that done today.
Absolutely effing not. Absolutely effing not. The book time is that, and I know I could smash it. I know I could do that in an hour and a half. Me,
Yeah.
maybe. You, maybe too, and even Sierra. Like Sierra killed it on a knuckle job. Killed it. What are you saying? You did. You killed it. So, that's that. And another person said something about getting tires shipped in from Tire Rack. I don't do that shit either. I don't want to install your parts.
And we don't. Oh yeah. I thought you meant stocking tires, but yeah.
No.
We're not, yeah.
Yeah.
We're not doing that.
The biggest problem with that, and this is based on my 30 plus years experiences, the customer doesn't know the product lines, right? They buy the cheapest shit that they can find based on their Google search or their internet search. And then they get all warm and fuzzy because they paid $90 for a 17-piece front end kit. And then you bring it to the shop and you say, oh yeah, we're a little slow, we'll take on that job. Detroit axle for number one, garbage in a box. Lug nuts snap off, every bolt breaks, get the job finally apart, you're past book time now on disassemble.
And then 2 months and.
Hold on. And then in the middle of the job, you're like, well, almost everything's wrong here. Like you're doing a whole front end rebuild and parts are wrong. Then you tell the customer that the ball joints and the tie rods and the links are wrong, and it costs him $600 to get those parts. We paid $50 for a whole entire front end kit. Now he's sour, right? Because he expects online pricing.
Yeah.
Or you do the job and then he comes back a year later crying that the crap
not even
failed.
a year later.
Not even a year later that the crap failed,
A year later, the wheel's about to fall off of the ball.
and it's your fault. I'm like, this is why we don't get involved in that. This is all by experience.
That happened to us recently. That truck came in, we did a full front end rebuild for them, and with their parts, because it was a super consistent customer, a guy that had been here a lot, and
That was a few years ago.
I feel like we just had this happen a couple months ago.
That's a few years ago because I won't do that anymore for anyone. That was him. It's the right
yeah,
guy.
yeah. But I mean, the ball joint was about to fall out of
His
the car
song
because-
was, "Oh yeah, I'm just doing this to flip the car," and here you are a year later, he's still driving it.
Yep.
So I was like, "Yeah, we're done. I don't want to do business for you anymore. I don't want to hear your bullshit." And then he blamed me because we didn't grease his
Ball joints.
crappy Detroit axle ball joints. I said, "Well,
did.
we did," and then a year later is not my problem
Yeah.
that you have a problem with your suspension parts. And he got all pissed and sour. So I was like, "God, fuck it, ain't worth it anymore. It's really not worth listening to anyone complain." It's like if you're married to a woman for 30 years, or a man, I'm not being gender specific, and all they do is fucking bitch all the time, do you really want to fucking hear it? No. Why do you think people get divorced? It's like,
like
I don't
you're
want to
feeding
hear
from the
your
spirit.
shit anymore. That's the way it goes. Like, if you can't stop complaining about everything, I don't even want to see you naked anymore. It's the truth.
Yeah, it's just the only time I want to see it.
So, I hope you enjoyed this conversation. Thanks for watching.